We speak student.
Because at the beginning of a sentence, a la Shmoop. Because Sally's parents didn't want her hanging around the house all summer, they sent her to camp for a month. Because Sally resented being exiled to camp, she made sure to sign up for all the more interesting activities, including a class on how to start sentences with subordinating conjunctions. So there. Examples of subordinating conjunctions include unless, despite, when, and because. And they can be used to start dependent clauses. Dependent clauses get their name because they have to be attached to another kind of clause, the main clause, no relation to Santa, in order to form a complete sentence. Let's say we have the dependent clause, when Sally visited the camp showers for the first time. Well, this dependent clause can't stand on its own as a sentence. It doesn't make sense. It needs a main clause, like she saw spiders the size of small children, in order to be a complete sentence. When we put these two clauses together, not only do we get a complete picture of what's going on, but we can all collectively shudder along with Sally. The formula we use with subordinating conjunctions here is subordinating conjunction starting a dependent clause plus comma plus main clause. All right, let's look at some more examples that involve this formula. Because Sally's parents disliked the idea of her doing anything dangerous, she made sure to take an archery class. Despite the rules put in place by the camp counselors, Sally ran poker matches out of her cabin every night. We've talked about the formula for starting sentences with subordinating conjunctions. However, we could just as easily switch the positions of the dependent and main clauses in the formula, so we end up with main clause plus a subordinating conjunction starting a dependent clause. Got that? So note that in this iteration of the formula, there is no comma. Sally walked through a patch of poison ivy despite her best intentions. Yeah, no comma in there. Here the dependent clause, despite her best intentions, is tacked on to the main clause without a comma. Or how about this sentence? Sally was busy playing Sudoku on her phone when all the other girls were singing songs around the campfire. Well, we've hooked the dependent clause, when all the other girls were singing songs around the campfire, onto the main clause without a comma. The only time we would ever need to inject a comma is when there is a stark difference between the main clause and the dependent clause. For example, if we had the main clause, Sally was wide awake, and the dependent clause, despite staying up all night telling ghost stories, we would need a comma to join these two clauses together. What if we had the main clause, Sally was starving, and the dependent clause, despite eating her weight in hot dogs? Well, we'd need a comma to separate these two clauses because how could anyone be hungry after consuming 120 pounds of Franks? So we have two formulas to remember here for sentences involving subordinating conjunctions. We can use the formula subordinating conjunction starting a dependent clause plus comma plus main clause. If we want to ditch the comma, we can use main clause plus a subordinating conjunction starting a dependent clause instead. Not that either of these formulas matter to Sally, who will have some great stories to tell her folks when she gets home.
What did the buffalo say to his son as he left for school?
Bye, son. Okay, bad joke, but if you survived it, how about clicking the subscribe button below? And if you're looking for more jokes from yours truly, why not check out our website at www.shmoop.com. And if you want to get updates on what's new, well, check us out on Facebook and Twitter too. Please check our Facebook and Twitter pages, please.